Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Life with Sharon. This is going to be part 3, but it's actually going to be shorter because I've been reflecting on the whole childhood psoriasis fiasco in my life. And I don't know, I've come to a resolve that was what it was. And I don't really feel like I need to share all of the nitty gritty, tear-jerking events throughout that whole period of my life. What I will say is that because I was brutally bullied in the worst ways due to having such a bad case of childhood psoriasis in the 80s and 90s, specifically the 90s, where I was, junior high school age. I definitely, my core beliefs around self-worth, self-esteem, beauty, those kinds of things were absolutely 100% affected. On top of, I was poor. I lived in a single family household, and that one parent was aloof most of the time, suffered mental health issues, and was an addict and an alcoholic, and she hated me. So there was that on top of the psoriasis trauma. So it's hard for me to go, oh, all of this was psoriasis based. So I'm doing this shorter version because I promised everybody a part 3 who watched the intro video, which was part 1 and part 2. And basically it screwed me up a lot. It screwed my head up a lot. I went down some dark paths. It led me into the system, the foster care system, which led me into pregnancy, teenage pregnancy. And it just kind of went downhill from there. Due to having no self-esteem, no self-worth, I was picking, gutter rats for guys most of the time. If a nice one came along, which there was here and there, there was one in my teenage years, there was one or two in my 20s, one in my 30s, one in my 40s kind of thing. But I just was not mentally and emotionally, psychologically prepared for a good guy in my life, which is sad and depressing on one side of that, but also some serious life lessons from having repeatedly going through, jerk after jerk after jerk. But I want to segue over into biological therapy medications. I had my first experience was with Enbrel, and that was in my 20s. And for me, I would call that the miracle drug at the time. It completely, within 4 months, I was psoriasis free, completely. Unfortunately, I had gotten mono and had to drop out of school for that semester, that year. And I was just coming out of a horrible stint of that, like the end of May. And then a month later was immediately put on the Enbrel. And that just took a couple years for my system to go, what the hell? Like that was crazy. But so I was sick all the time while I was on that. But I loved that for the first time in my life, and I was probably, I want to say around 28. I felt beautiful physically on the outside. I had a long ways to go until I felt beautiful on the inside, like 20 years, like flash forward to now. So anyways, I'm going to be doing a video later in the week, or when I can really kind of get my thoughts together and put everything on paper, and then just kind of have it flow a little bit better. But I will do my biological therapy journey over the last 20 years, all of the medications, both injections and pills that they've tried me on, what's worked, what didn't, leading up to the last 3 years of the 20 years of just really having a backfire reaction to biologics. The last 3 have been pretty brutal on me, which has been was Skyrizi for a year, and that's an every 3-month one. And then I was put on Orencia, which I think that one was every month. I think that was every once a month, and talk about some serious side effects with that one as well. And then a year ago in May, so May of 24, I was put on the Humira, and what that has done. Currently, I'm not on any biological, starting because of surgeries. So I have actually been biological free since July 25th-ish, 2025. That said, I've done research on the Humira, and that actually does stay in the system for 12 to 16 weeks, which is just crazy to me. It's crazy only because you inject that every 2 weeks, and if it stays in your system for 3 or 4 months, why are we injecting that, every 2 weeks? That's just crazy. But anyways, like I said, I will go into all of that in a different video. So this concludes my little mini series on the childhood psoriasis. And for those who have watched, like I said, thank you, or listened. I know one of them was more of an audio than a video. I really do appreciate it. If you like any of my content, please feel free to subscribe, comment, like, share. I want to hear everybody's stories out there. All right, much love to everybody. I hope everyone had a safe and fun and revitalizing Labor Day weekend. All right, see you on the other side. Bye.